All right, well, welcome everybody to our CIELO Workshop Series. This is our monthly workshop series. Our September edition this year is going by very, very quickly. So again, thank you all for attending. And if any of you had missed the chat in terms of a virtual icebreaker, when you get a chance, go ahead, just drop in your name of your business into the chat box. Or if you don't have a business name or still working on your business, you can go ahead, put in what type of business industry you plan on being in or what type of business you are working on. Please do so before we in the next few minutes. But again, thank you everyone for being here today. This is our CIELO Workshop Series. And just a quick introduction for those of you who may not be familiar with CIELO. I do see a lot of familiar faces, but I also see some new faces as well too. So in terms of who we are and what we do, CIELO stands for the Community for Innovation, Entrepreneurship, Leadership, and Opportunities. We officially launched in 2015, but we've been helping clients for around 10 years now, since 2012. We're a nonprofit organization helping aspiring entrepreneurs become business owners. And one nice thing about us being a nonprofit is all of our services are at no cost to our clients, which is something that we're very happy for and also very proud of. So we help you build and develop the entrepreneur mindset needed to help you to achieve success. We provide the resources and guidance, and you provide the hard work and the passion. So what services do we offer here at CIELO? We do offer a small business development training program, which I'll talk a little bit about in the next slide. We do offer this monthly workshop series. So these workshops that we offer, we do every single month. It's always the last Wednesday of every month, and we pick a different entrepreneur topic. So every topic is relevant to startups and to new business owners. So each topic will be different. So definitely stay tuned for our future topics. We tend to let everybody know 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time. We also offer one-on-one small business coaching. So for any client who's looking to start a business, or even anyone who's looking to just talk to a business coach, we do offer the opportunity to speak to one of us here at CIELO. We have a client navigation team and support for business launches. So for all of you who attend our CIELO programming and are looking to start a business, we do offer a client navigation, which is headed by our colleague, Gabby Brockman, to help support you to get to business launch. But even after business launch, we do want to be there for you for support and any questions you may have. We do offer a microgrant program for current CIELO clients who have gone through our CIELO small business training program. And this microgrant program, if you've completed our training program, you do have the opportunity to apply for microgrant funds for startup expenses. And lastly, we do want to be a connection to small business resources and services. If there's anything that you need in terms of support, we want to be able to point you in the right direction if it's something that we're not able to handle. So we want to be that go-to person for you if there's any questions. So upcoming events, like I said, this year is going very quick. We're almost in October. So we had just finished the live portion of our small business startup program. So we are in the second half of it right now. Our next startup program will be starting November 1st, 2022. And this will be the last one for this year. And in terms of the startup program, this is a 6-week training program. Take a journey on the entrepreneur roadmap to business launch. As I mentioned, it's a 6-week training program for entrepreneurs and startups. So for any of you who are looking to start a business, this would be a good training program for you. It includes 3 weeks of live classroom training and also 3 weeks of one-on-one business coaching. Some of the topics that we cover are how to pick a business name, advertising on social media, introduction to business financials, and much, much more. And if you are interested in attending or learning more, please email us at info@cielocommunity.org. So that brings us to today's topic. Today's topic is things to know about the Internal Revenue Service. So obviously this is a very loaded topic. I'm very excited to have our guest speaker, Lionel Carrillo, here to talk on this subject. Lionel Carrillo is a senior stakeholder liaison with the Internal Revenue Service, has years of experience. And we're really excited to have him here to talk about not only just the IRS, but also how it relates to small business owners and people such as yourself who are going through this entrepreneur stage. So Lionel, welcome, and we're very excited to have you present today.
Really excited to be here. Thank you, Alex. My name is Lionel Carrillo. I'm with the Internal Revenue Service, communication and liaison part of the IRS. I'm a stakeholder liaison. I've been with the service over 30 years. I've been in all kinds of positions there, working the phone lines, answering the tax law questions, researching accounts, went to exam for a bit, went to collections, did some vital work, volunteer program where we prepared tax returns at no cost during the filing season, did a lot of outreach, and pretty much with this stakeholder liaison, started this position in January. And I really appreciate this opportunity to speak with you all and really just to address whatever questions or concerns you have about the IRS. I do have a presentation prepared, but I'm ready to go off script. If during this presentation you have some comments or questions, just feel free to bring them up and I'll address them as I go along. One of the things with stakeholder liaison is we establish and manage relationships with the small business community, multilingual, underrepresented communities, and trying to have them understand their business and to meet their tax responsibilities. One of the things that I've experienced is that there's a lot of folks out there who they probably work for someone, employment, got their W-2, filed their taxes, and they were probably in a trade, right, as an employee, and they were good at what they did. And maybe they came across to that point where they said, you know what, I think I can do this on my own. I think I like the idea of working for myself, managing my own time, managing the kind of work I do, and maybe, be more profitable at it on my own. And so they go out there and they find out that, you know what, this is working out. I'm getting new clients, I'm making more money, and I'm really enjoying being free, working on my own, being responsible for my own business. And then all of a sudden, they start running into this situation about taxes, the paperwork involved, and then all of a sudden, all these things. Maybe they hire employees. They really got big, so big that they had to bring on employees, and so they had to figure out, okay, what are my responsibilities? What are my deadlines? What type of forms I need to file? And all of a sudden, it's all about catching up, right? And sometimes these folks get behind, and all of a sudden now they're dealing with the IRS as far as we're sending notices that, we haven't gotten your tax returns, or we got your return, there's some money's owing, and they're having to deal with that. So we have a lot of programs where we try to get ahead of this. And that's why I really appreciate speaking to you today. And we do have a lot of programs. We do have a lot of presentations that we can do to explain what your responsibilities are ahead of time, dealing with forms like 941, dealing with Social Security, dealing with estimated taxes for your tax return, and things of that nature. So there's a lot of things that we offer. We do a lot of reaching out to these organizations, especially like CIELO, and I really appreciate them allowing the Internal Revenue Service to partner with them in trying to get our message out, to get this information out to you. Things like I-10s, getting an employer identifying number for your business, and to determine whether you really need one or not. So it's just a wealth of information, almost like a library of information that CIELO has allowed the Internal Revenue Service to partner with them on. So those are some of the things that we can do. So again, if during this conversation any of you have any questions or concerns, feel free. I know that in the short time I've been working with CIELO, I know that some of you folks have approached them with particular issues that you're running across in your business, and you're sharing with them. And CIELO has been kind of sharing that with me. And together we've kind of found a way to maybe try to resolve some of these questions or concerns that you have. On page 3 of this PowerPoint presentation, it just shows how we try to get our message out. We're on social media. We have video portals. The Internal Revenue Service, we have our own website, irs.gov, and there's just a wealth of information. We have information on YouTube. We have multilingual engagements. We put together meetings and seminars, and some of these seminars as they come up, I've shared with CIELO, and possibly they can share that with you too. One of the things that I'm running, that I'm becoming more aware of is how to protect your identity. And the Internal Revenue Service, especially during the filing season, we're finding that there's situations where like what they call those phishing schemes and things of that nature, they try to steal your information and file returns and claim refunds that really rightfully belong to you. So Internal Revenue Service, we have a lot of safeguards, we have a lot of information that could help you with that. Again, on page 4 of this PowerPoint, it talks about how you can connect with the IRS through social media. We've been doing this for over 10 years. And if you're a small business, you may want to go ahead and explore irs.gov. There's a lot of options available to you. One of the things that we were working at the last few years was this COVID relief fund. And we were getting the message out with that. Again, we are on YouTube. We have YouTube videos. And if you go to irs.gov, in that search page, you just click on or just type in IRS videos on the right side for a lot of information regarding identity theft and information about the COVID relief funds that are available to you. Let's see here. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on LinkedIn, Instagram. So we're really working hard to make it easy for folks to reach us over the internet. One of the reasons why we're really focusing on that, or one of the reasons, is that I noticed that, well, a lot of times it's kind of difficult to reach us on the phone. And I know there's been a lot of wait time sometimes on the phones. So what we're trying to do a lot now is to work at making a lot of information available over the internet, where you can get information regarding your tax account, or finding out what happened to my refund and things of that nature, and looking over the internet. Let's see. A lot of the information that we have on irs.gov is in several languages. We do offer in Spanish. A lot of presentations that we have are in Spanish. A lot of things that I'm able to offer to CIELO is I do have presentations regarding small business, as far as there's a small business workshop that we offer that covers things such as record keeping, finding out at what point are you considered an employer? At what point do you work with independent contractors? At what point do you need to issue them a 1099? how to secure an ITIN or an employer identification number. We go into all those issues about how can you access your account online, and things of that nature. So it's just a wealth of information that the Internal Revenue has that we can offer to CIELO to make available to you. Again, a lot of the information, I know this presentation is in English, so we do offer it in Spanish as well. So again, any questions or comments or anything, or just feel free to jump in. This is very informal, and I'm just here to help you or help CIELO in any way that we can, to help you make your business very successful. Pretty much that's what we're trying to do. I know that, especially during this, more during the COVID, I know that a lot of folks decide to work from home, and I know that a lot of you folks, you don't have like a brick and mortar store that you're kind of working from home, or you're working a lot through the internet and contracting with independent folks online. And so we do talk about things such as business use of your home and things of that nature, or maybe depreciating some of your assets. Maybe you have a work truck, and we have information on that. So I mean, we're here to help. Anything that you need, go ahead and let CIELO know, and we'll assist us any way that we can. On slide 6, there's some example about some of the YouTube videos that we have. There's things such as identity theft that we cover, multilingual videos. And then on slide 7, YouTube. You can just go ahead and click the search page on that and find whatever information that you might be interested in. On slide 8, it shows information that we have on Instagram.
Lionel, sorry to interrupt. We have a question actually in the chat.
Sure, go ahead. All right.
So this is a question from Angel. She said, if I obtained an EIN in 2020, but did not go into business due to the explosion of the pandemic, am I still expected to report taxes for those years because I had an EIN?
An EIN is for setting up a business. But if you never operate that business, then you're not reported to file any kind of tax return. So for example, say you're a sole proprietorship, you just work for yourself, but you never started and so say you started a business, you're a sole proprietorship, then when you file your tax return, your Form 1040, you'll find yourself filing a Schedule C, which talks about what kind of gross income you have, what your business expenses were like. But if you didn't operate your business in that year, we're not looking for any kind of a Schedule C or you reporting any self-employment income. So if it was a situation that you were thinking about starting a business, but for whatever reason you chose not to and you remain a wage earner, no, we're not looking to you to file any kind of business tax return. Does that help? Or any other?
Oh, okay. So Angel added, I started with a DBA and continued to only work as a consultant, so I would still report as an independent contractor.
Right. So as a consultant, right, as a consultant, there's rules. In general, when you're a consultant, I assume that you worked independently. You may have worked for maybe did work for different folks. In that case, we would be looking to you to filing a tax return to report your gross income. And then of course you would back out whatever business expenses that you had in that year. Yeah. Does that help? And again, oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yes, yeah.
Because and again, we do we do have a presentation that talks about the a small business tax workshop. The reason why I'm laughing is that we have we work with EDD, and with EDD and the IRS, we have a class that it's about 4 hours long that covers the whole aspect of the small business tax workshop, everything from record keeping to employment taxes, to find out if you have an employee or if you're an independent contractor. It is 4 hours. I sat through one. It's a lot. It's a lot of information. The good thing about it is that small business tax workshop, you can find that on irs.gov, and it breaks it up into chapters. So you can just kind of scroll to that and just pull out the information that you want to know. So instead of having to sit through a long class, you can just go ahead and search through that website. And again, I mean, I'm available to address, you know, today it's just very general. I just want to hear from you. I'm very interested to know what it is that you're interested in, and with partnering with CIELO, I'm available to give presentations on specific areas of that small business tax workshop, whether it be how to secure an I-10, or do I need an EIN number, or if the situation is I have a business and I bring on some people to help me with my business. Is that person my employee or an independent contractor? So there's a lot of things that we have available that we can offer to you through CIELO. So I really appreciate this opportunity to talk to you about that. Let's see. On slide 9, whether you're an individual, small business, or a nonprofit, if you're looking for answers to a question, check out our website, irs.gov.
I'll speak to that real quick, Lionel.
Sure, go ahead.
So I might have mentioned it to some of the clients, but the IRS website, and like what you had been mentioning, Lionel, is that it's actually a great reference tool. So keep in mind that when you're first starting out as a business owner and starting your business, you know, you want to be as efficient with your funds as possible. So as much as you can try to kind of research and utilize your resources before you pay someone to do that for you, I would definitely get familiar with the IRS website. And, you know, my experience in terms of looking for answers, it wasn't too hard to look it up as a reference tool. And what I did like, because I was a little bit intimidated, right? I thought maybe IRS was going to use a lot of jargon that I was unfamiliar with. It was pretty straightforward and to the point where it wasn't too confusing. So I would definitely encourage all of you to spend some time on the irs.gov website. Lionel, would you say, from what I remember, I just used the search tool within there, and it did a pretty good job of getting me to my topics.
Right.
Would you say the same too?
Right, because there's several ways of navigating through the IRS website. Right, the quickest way is just to go to that search box, type in what you're interested in, and it'll take you right to that point. Something else that I'll just share information with you, and it's just from my experience of 30 years I've been with IRS and my interaction with businesses and people starting out with businesses. It's all about record keeping. And like I said before, you're really good at the trade, you're really good at the job. It's just when you have to get into this paperwork that kind of trips some people up, not everyone. And it's just record keeping and knowing where you're at. And a lot of that has to deal with also with bank accounts. It's always a good idea to keep your business account separate from your personal, so you get an idea as to how much money the business is generating and how much expenses are truly related to the business. And I know a lot of folks get tripped up because if they only have one account and they're putting their business money in there and you're putting their personal money in there, it's kind of hard to sort through that. So it's just a tip. I mean, take it for what it's worth, but I mean, a lot of that stuff is on the website. It's in the Small Business Tax Workshop, and things that you can put into that search page is what do we consider income, or what kind of expenses can I write off? How do I depreciate my vehicle? Things like that. It's all in there. And again, it's pretty straightforward, but then again, we're talking about taxes, and sometimes it could be a lot of information, and sometimes maybe you're just looking for one specific thing, and I mean, that's what I'm here for, to help you sort through that. Any questions? Right. Keeping your records separate from your personal and business. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, one thing I want to bring up is on slide 10. We have on irs.gov, there's a section that we have is called the Gig Economy Tax Center. And, you know, we have this platform to help folks who are just renting out maybe a spare bedroom, providing car rides like Uber or Lyft, or anything like that, or connecting with customers who provide other goods and services. You might be involved with the gig economy. The IRS developed the Gig Economy Tax Center to help you meet your gig economy tax obligations. There are tax implications for both the company that provides the platform and the individual who performs the service. So if you offer services in the gig economy, it would be a good idea to understand the potential tax issues that may affect you. The Gig Economy Tax Center provides information to guide you through some common questions. Many tax professionals can also help. The tax software industry is aware of these new business models, so many software programs are prepared to assist you when you prepare your taxes. So like Alex is saying, it's a good idea to become familiar with what your tax responsibilities are. So when you do get to the point where you realize, you know what, my business is really doing well. I'm getting to the point where I think I'm gonna need some help with all this paperwork. And you might bring in a tax consultant or a tax accountant to help you find out what these responsibilities are. So when they start giving you this information saying, you need to make estimated taxes, or you need to make federal tax deposits. So when you start using those terms, at least you're in the ballgame. Like, you know, I heard about that before. So instead of feeling overwhelmed, you go in with some knowledge, some information. That's always helpful. On slide 13, we also have our business center on irs.gov. Let's see. You know, the Small Business and Self-Employed Tax Center is in English, Spanish, Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, Russian, and Haitian. So we offer services in all languages. It helps individuals file their Form 1040, the Schedule C for self-employed. Schedule E deals with rental property. Form 2106 deals with business expenses. And so some of the more popular areas dealing with the securing an employer ID number. It refers you to some forms and publications. And it talks about e-filing employment taxes if you're in that situation. We also have some YouTube videos I know that you know, in doing some work around my house, uh, there's that term that they use, a jack of all trades but a master of none. That's me. I mean, I'll doodle on a lot of things, but
I love it. I love it. I love
I'll get it work, but it's gonna take a long time to get it done. And YouTube has been my teacher. So yeah, we have YouTube videos. So feel free, jump in there. Let's see here. And then on page 12, Iris to go mobile app. So we got a mobile app. It's situations where, say for example, you do need to make a payment. You can do that over the app. Over the app, you can check on your refund status. During the filing season, like I said before, one of the things I did was I volunteered. We have a volunteer income tax preparation program that during the filing season for individual wage earners will do returns at no cost. So those things are available. Let's see. And this this mobile app is secured. So a lot of times when you're checking on accounts, there's a process that we have. We set up our own firewalls, IRS, to protect your identity. So it's safe. On slide 14, you can always access your IRS account online. It does require you to register. We have presentations to kind of show you how to do that. irs.gov, they have a link that gives you step-by-step how to do that. You can access recently filed returns, get account transcripts. And it's, for example, you received a notice from the IRS, but you lost the paper. You can get digital copies off of this site. Again, this is another way. This one is another way of being able to make payments. Something else that I can share with you is that, say for example, you do get a notice, and say for example you owe taxes, and it's a little more than you can pay at one time. The IRS makes every attempt to set up payment arrangements with you. A lot of these payment arrangements can be done online to suit your how much you need and things that. So. Let's see here.
Len, I had a quick question for you.
Sure. Go ahead.
And actually, that's a good. I'm glad you brought up the payments, right? So some of us are maybe familiar with on the personal side. On the business side, I know that one of our worksheets has like estimated tax payments. At what point, and you know, this is just kind of, I guess, a general topic or just general question, but like, at what point would you say businesses would need to be kind of worrying about making, or why would a business want to be making payments, say quarterly or monthly on the business side?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. And that's what's important about keeping good records, because my experience has been that some folks, not everyone, they're really good at the work and they're bringing in money, but it's difficult to determine, am I making a profit on this or not? So you kind of have to balance how much money you're making, what your expenses are like. And then the IRS has a worksheet, and it's on irs.gov, where you can kind of estimate what your taxes are going to be. So say, for example, and we have these things in quarter, it's in April, June, September, and December. So say the first quarter, April, you look at your profit and loss, how much money you brought in, how much, and say, you know, I lost money this quarter. Then you don't need to send us anything. So the second quarter, you find, okay, I made some money. So then you just do that worksheet, and it gives you an idea as to how much estimated tax payments you need to send to the IRS. And when we talk about estimated tax payments, we're not just talking about federal income tax. We're also talking about Social Security tax. So the whole idea about this, the IRS and the federal tax system is that you pay your taxes as you make your money. So that at the end of the year, when you have to file your return, you're just doing the paperwork. So that you find out, okay, these are taxes I owe, this is what I already paid in, and it should pretty much balance out. So either you're gonna get a small refund or you're gonna owe a little bit of money. That's the way the systems work. It's similar to if you're an employee and you get your wage statement, you never get your gross income because they've already taken out all this for taxes, insurance, and all that. So as self-employed person, you don't have someone doing it for you. You need to do that on your own. And we can help with that. And there's a form called 1040 ES, ES for estimated taxes. And in there, there's a worksheet that you can do on a quarterly basis to kind of give you a snapshot of whether or not you need to be paying any taxes or not. But if you get to the point where your business is doing well and you need to bring on a tax person, a tax professional to help you, they're aware of that and they can guide you through that as well.
Lionel, we had actually another question come in the chat from Leticia. She says, I filed for an extension and have tried to reach the lady but have not been successful. Am I able to go with someone else, or do I have to go with her since she requested the extension?
Well, you can go with someone else. That's fine. As long as the extension was filed, we have it on our system. That's good enough for us. Who you have your taxes prepared, it's your choice. Now that you brought that up, during the filing season, one of the things we caution folks about is we call them ghost preparers. And when I say ghost preparers, there's situations that come up when you file your return electronically, or if you file it paper filing, whoever you pay to get your taxes done, they need to sign off on these returns as well. So if you find someone who says, I'm not going to sign it, that's a warning sign. Or if you find someone who says, I only accept cash, you may want to think about that. If someone does your return and you take a look at that and you find that the income they're showing isn't right, or the expenses aren't right, question them about it. Or if you're due a refund and the preparer wants to deposit that refund into an account that's not yours, a bank account that's not yours, that's a big warning sign. So, but to answer your question, you can go with another tax preparer. That's fine. Any other questions? Because I'm here for you. Any other questions that you have? Okay. And on slide 15, on irs.gov/withholding, that gives you an idea about the worksheet. It gives you information. This is for employees, but it can kind of give you an idea about what your taxes are going to be like.
Lionel, we actually had a new question come in from
Okay.
Stephanie. She just asked, what if my husband hasn't filed taxes for years 2017 to 2019?
Okay, then one of the questions I would have is did he work during those years? Was he an employee or self-employed? I would say, those are some things I would need to know.
Okay, so she put, yes, he was an employee.
Okay. Then you would want, there's a couple of things here. It might be a good idea to file a tax return for a couple of reasons. I don't know how much it is, and you don't need to tell me, that's okay. Sometimes there's situations where maybe a person didn't really earn that much money in that year, but they had taxes taken out of their paycheck. So if they had filed a return, they wouldn't owe any taxes, which means that whatever withholdings they had, they're going to get that back. So they may want to file just to get their refund. So those are some of the things to consider. Mm-hmm.
So we have another question too, Lionel, thank you. Gabriella was asking, at what point of starting a business do you need to report taxes?
Well, it kind of goes back to quarterly. What I mean to say is, you want to check your profit and loss statement on a quarterly basis. Because I know that a lot of startup businesses, maybe the first year, they might be losing money. So even though they would have to report it, there's no profit. So generally there's going to be no taxes on that issue. So at the point that you become profitable, and then I go back to the form 1040 ES, the estimated tax worksheet, that will give you a clue as to what your tax situation will be. And then on the form, there's a worksheet for the form 1040 ES that gives you the dates of when you need to make those estimated tax payments and where to send those payments. Those are good questions.
Yeah, there's a lot of good questions, and sorry, I just saw a message come through on the previous question, Lionel, about Stephanie mentioning her husband haven't filing taxes. She just mentioned that 2019 of February, he was not able to work due to medical issues. So maybe that helps provide more context to her question too.
You know what? The last few years have been really something. And what I mean by that is, with all this COVID situation, the federal government has made available money to people who would normally not get those monies. So it's a situation where even though you didn't work at all, you would want to go ahead and file a return to make available to those COVID funds that were available. I think 2019 was the first year we started doing that. So the IRS made every effort to identify folks based on prior filings and get them their money regardless of whether they filed a 2019 or 2020 tax return. But of course, we didn't get to everyone. So 2019, I would recommend filing a tax, well, not recommend, but I would look into that. And irs.gov, they can, on the search page, just put in just a term like maybe COVID relief funds, and it should take you to our website that can better explain that as to how to go about that, determining whether you should file a return to make yourself available to, if there's a COVID relief money available to you. Yeah. And another thing that comes up, and so I don't know the whole tax situation, so I really can't say one way or another, but some of the things that we were running into is that there's folks who didn't work at all during the last few years, and they have children. So there's that child tax credit, and there's situations that oh, I forgot what the numbers were, but you know, a family of four kids, I think it was almost something around 8,000 that's available to them in those years. I can't really speak to the exact number because it all depends on a person's tax situation. But again, go to the IRS website, just type in child tax credit, and then it'll tell you that information. So even folks who didn't work at all, but have children, and then of course there's age limits and things of that nature, but it'll guide you through that. So it may be worth looking into, even though you didn't have a filing requirement or didn't made little or no money in those years. So I would look into that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Any other questions or comments?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Okay. And then on line 16, you know, before this COVID situation, we here at Stakeholder Liaison, we did a lot of face-to-face meetings. I mean, that's what we were all about. And then when this COVID hit and we weren't able to do that, we had to find ways of reaching out to you. And I appreciate CIELO sharing their Zoom platform with me, because we lost our Zoom platform here. And now we're working towards using Teams. But I'm hoping that in the next few months, once we get the federal passes their federal budget and we get our budget, they're gonna let us go out and start meeting you folks here face to face. You know, we do our presentations in English, Spanish, and we brought in some folks who speaks Chinese, and so we're doing everything we can to get the message out, to let you know all the things that we do to assist you. Let's see here. We can help you get your I-10. We can offer you information on that. Let's see. So if you go to like the slide 21, there's my information. There's my email address and my phone number, or just contact your CIELO representative. They know how to reach me. We've already met a few times, and I really appreciate the opportunity. You have a great location. I really love it out there, over there by Angel Stadium. So you have a nice complex out there, and the weather's
Right
great.
in the hub, right?
Those few times I've been to Angel Stadium, I mean, I don't care if they win or lose. It's just sitting up in the stands and you just catch that cool breeze, and it's great.
Well, I definitely appreciate you coming out here and at least getting here on Zoom and speaking to our CIELO community here, because I know when it comes to taxes, it can be a sensitive topic, or topic that, you know, people might be afraid or intimidated to talk about or explore, right? I think a lot of us have kind of been there, right? So, oh man, what can possibly be, or you know, what are the penalties for this or that, or what if I miss something? So I think it's real good to build this connection. And I really do encourage all of you as well to definitely take Lionel's information, and feel free to reach out to him, or if you have any questions in the future, because we do get them, Lionel, we do get them, and you know, we're not tax certified, so we don't answer more than what we normally know, right? But definitely would encourage all of you to definitely take his information, or reach out to us if you have want us to get in contact with him for you. But I know now we have a few minutes for some Q&A. So if anybody had any questions or any comments, that would be a good time. You gotta a rep from the IRS here, and if you feel free to ask him a question.
Because I'll be upfront with you. I mean, I've been with the service 30 years. I've done exam, I've done collections, and the sooner, I mean, helping yourself, you know, keeping good records. If you run into something where you get a bill and you can't pay it, we understand. And the sooner you act on it and come to us in good faith and tell us, you know what, I can't pay it all at one time, but I can pay you so much a month. We'll do our best to work with you. As long as you're upfront with us and you keep to what your commitment, we're good. I know that some of the situations I ran into is that I guess there's a term that sometimes used is that there's folks who can't pay, and we totally understand. And then there's other folks that says, oh, well, they just won't pay us at all. That's a whole different situation. So I know with this audience, the fact that you're here talking to us, you want to do the right thing. And we understand that here in the IRS. And that's why we have Stakeholder Liaison, so that we can provide you whatever services you need to help you be profitable and to meet your tax obligations. Because I think that's what we're all here. We're all a team here. So, and I really appreciate CIELO partnering with the IRS here. So, yeah. So any other questions or?
I have a question.
Comments? Sure.
Hi, can I ask a question?
Hi. Sure.
You
Sure.
hear me? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you
Okay,
fine.
so in 2019, my taxes were filed and an extension was submitted by my then CPA. At that time, there was a small amount that was due that I wasn't able to pay, but I tried to get a payment plan set up for that 2019 tax year. I'm trying to keep this long story short. In 2020, when COVID hit, I had to pivot and then start to do the gig economy. So the,
Okay.
rideshare services.
Okay.
And filed my taxes in 2020 and all of this. Bottom line is, it's interesting how I'm getting conflicting information, which is concerning me because I'm trying to figure out what exactly, if I do owe, what do I owe? I received pushback when I was trying to apply for the COVID relief fund. They were saying that I didn't owe anything. And I was like, okay. And then I couldn't reach anybody. And now when I try to sign into my account, it says, if you see this, if you see the image, a different image than the image that you chose when you signed, created an account, you don't go any further. So that's where I'm at right now. And it's why I'm like, I'm wanting to talk to someone because I haven't been able to get a hold of anyone. And I get conflicting information from those that were trying to help me get this COVID relief fund that nothing ever moved forward. So.
Okay, so you were able to create an online account.
Mm-hmm.
You owed some money.
Mm-hmm.
You were able to get a payment arrangement, or you were able to set up terms, or yes or
No.
no? Okay.
I never received,
so then,
feedback.
So then later on, you got notification that you didn't owe anything.
Right. Then all of a sudden they said you don't owe anything, and I was like, wait a minute. I mean, I'm willing to make a payment plan on the small. It's a small amount, but still, if I owe it, I'm willing to make a payment plan.
Right.
If I just want everything to be clear.
Right. No, you're right. And so when you try to go into the online account to get a record of your account, you can't get in at all.
Correct.
That's what you're running into.
Right.
Okay.
And that's why I'm like, when I said you guys were here, I'm like, now I'll be able to talk to somebody and see if someone can help sort this out.
You know, back in days when I was working account information, I had access to all those accounts, but since I've been here, Stakeholder Liaison, they cut me off from all of that. However, what I can do is I can go ahead and I'll share that with Alex or Christine, that there is a phone number that you can contact to set up an appointment at an IRS office, and they can kind of sit down with you and sort this thing out. Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
appreciate
Let me
that.
go ahead and work on that for you. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, the fact that you're trying to get that resolved, I understand that, and I'll try to do whatever I can to get you that help, and I'll follow up with Alex or Christine to see how that goes for you, right?
Thank
So
you.
let me get that on that for you. Okay.
Okay.
Any other
Thank-
questions or?
Thank you, Anne
You're welcome.
Marie.
Hi,
Yeah.
Good question.
Hi.
Good timing.
this,
Oh, sorry.
oh, I have one, sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
I'm
Maricela.
driving, so yes, I have a question. So I don't know if you can share any tips as like new business owners trying to do taxes, kind of what triggers audits, because I used to do taxes many years ago, and you know, some people
Okay.
were in big trouble when it came to, when, you know, when the IRS was auditing them. So I don't know if you can share
Sure.
any you know, triggers that the IRS looks into, or stuff that we can prepare, right? You know, like documenting our expenses and what have you. So I don't know if you can share any tips on that.
Oh, well, as far as what we really concentrate on and things of that nature, I really don't have that kind of information. But you're right. When you talk about record keeping, I think that a lot of that comes down to record keeping. Yeah. But as far as who we're targeting or what we're targeting, not so much, not too much information on that. But as far as to, because you know, you did you prepared taxes before. At the end of the day, it all comes down to record keeping and reporting the proper income and the proper expenses. Yeah. Anything else? Any other questions?
Lionel, we did have another question. Thank you, Maricela. From Gabriella in the chat. She said her husband and her found out that somebody else cashed a check that the IRS issued, and how can they recuperate that money?
Okay. There's things we can do to help. Let me share that information with Alex and Christine. There's a process involved, and there's avenues. There's ways of us tracing that and things of that nature. Yeah, we can help with that.
So that's actually a good question. So yeah, well, yeah, if you want to get back to me, I know, and then I can get back to Gabriella. And Gabriella, I'm gonna put in, I'll send my email address to you as well too, just in case we don't have your info, which I'm sure we do, but I'll send it to you. All right. Well, I know we're at time, and again, thank you so much, Lionel, for sharing this information with us. And for all of you, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to myself or Lionel, and definitely check out the website as well. So, but again, thank you all for attending. Lionel, thank you for sharing your time here with us. Looking forward to our continued partnership and working with us and helping our clients here at CIELO. And for all of you, thank you so much for attending. You'll get a recap email with the recording along with contact information. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you
Lionel.
very much. Thank you very much.